Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, The Legit Astrologer. My name is Rajat Kapoor. Today in this video, I'm going to talk about the transit of Sun, Surya. Sun has already made a transit in the sign of Gemini, and it is going to stay in the sign of Gemini till 16th of July. And in case you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you keep yourself up to date with all the upcoming transit videos and the other Vedic astrology videos that I'm going to share with you. And if you wish to book a personalized consultation with me, check out the link to my website in the comment section and how you can reach out to me. Sun's transit usually lasts for about 30 to 31 days, and it is very consistent with its transit. So this is the natural 5th house lord of the Kalapurusha Kundli. The ruler of the sign Leo has entered in the natural 3rd house of the Kalapurusha Kundli, the sign of Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. Mercury and Sun share a friendly relationship. So one of the interesting aspects about this particular transit is that Sun is in its happy space. Why? Because it is just 2 steps away from reaching his home, that is the sign of Leo. Sun is in the friendly sign of Gemini. On 17th of July, it will make a transit in the sign of Cancer, which is again a friendly sign for the Sun. And finally, after 1 month from that time, around 16th or 17th of August, it is going to make a transit in its home in the sign of Leo. Now let's understand Sun. What does Sun represent? Sun is the Karaka for the soul. It is a significator of the soul. Sun is the king. Sun is all about consistency. Sun is about resources. Sun is about initiation. It is the giver of life. It is the natural ruler of Leo, or the 5th house. This is where the king sits. 5th house, or the 5th sign, it is all about the future. It's a very future oriented sign. It is about creativity. Since it's about future, it is also about children. It is about authority. It is about recognition. This is where the knowledge comes from. And being the trinal house, 5th house is also closely associated to Lord Shiva. Now this Lord is going in the natural 3rd house, which is the sign of Gemini. This house represents efforts. It represents siblings. It represents learning. It represents communication. It is also about short journeys, or travel is seen from this house. Any kind of change that is triggered, it triggers from the 3rd house. Change and growth are closely related to each other, and I have shared this in my previous videos as well. The 3rd house being the Upachaya Bhava, it is all about growth. It is also about free will. And on top of that, after the next few days, when Mercury enters the sign of Gemini, its own house, they are going to form a Buddha Aaditya Yoga in the sign of Gemini. What does this represent? Gemini is a dual sign. This sign represents learning, communication, intelligence. Buddha Aditya Yoga is all about learning and intelligence. There could not be a better time to learn, upskill yourself, pick up a skill or two for your future, because 5th house is connected, 3rd house is connected. This can play a very important role for your own growth, regardless of any ascendant sign that you have. From the sign of Gemini, Sun is going to aspect the sign of Sagittarius, its 7th aspect, which is the aspect of desire. So what does Sun desire during this transit? It desires Dharma. Sagittarius is the natural 9th house of the Kalapurusha Kundli, which is about Dharma. It is about fortune, father. So Sun desires higher learning. It desires you to follow the path of righteousness. It desires you to stick towards your lineage, carry that forward. This is also a comfortable space for Sun, where it will ensure that there is abundance of resources that can help people along the way in different spheres of life, depending on your ascendant sign, moon sign, and the current time period. Now, during this transit, Sun is going to move through 3 different nakshatras. Currently, Sun is transiting in Mrigashira nakshatra, and it will stay in Mrigashira nakshatra till 21st of June. On 22nd of June, it is going to move in Ardra nakshatra, and on 6th of July, it is going to transit in Punarvasu nakshatra. Mrigashira Nakshatra is ruled by Mars, Ardra Nakshatra is ruled by Rahu, and Punarvasu Nakshatra is ruled by Jupiter. Now let's understand, where do these planets get exalted? Mars gets exalted in the sign of Capricorn, Rahu gets exalted in the sign of Taurus, and Jupiter gets exalted in the sign of Cancer, which means that wherever you have the sign of Capricorn, Taurus and Cancer in your chart during this 1 month is likely to experience some positive results depending on your current and ongoing dasha. From now till 22nd of June, this time period is activating the second cycle. So Sun, the initiator of everything, is activating the cycle. What is this cycle all about? It is about wealth, it's about possessions, it's about family. Since it's wealth, it is a lot to do with money and income. So it's an excellent time for you to put certain efforts in order to gain certain income, taking care of your family, putting your focus and channelizing your energies in the right manner so that you can gain maximum out of this time. From June 23rd onwards, this is going to activate the third cycle, wherein Sun is going to be extremely supportive towards efforts, towards creativity and arts, towards travel and communication. So this is really going to elevate. The last week of June, we will see a massive rise in the travel and people taking up short and long distance journeys. So quite a favorable time in terms of putting your energies in that direction. Who is going to be maximum impacted by this transit? If you are undergoing a Mahadasha, Antardasha or Pratantardasha where Sun is playing a role, then you're likely to be impacted. If Mercury plays a role, because Sun is transiting in the sign of Mercury, it will be conjoined with Mercury in the coming days, then you're likely to be impacted by this transit. If you have any planets in the sign of Gemini, Leo, Sagittarius, then you're likely to be impacted. If you've also got planets in the sign of Taurus, in the sign of Capricorn, in the sign of Cancer, then you're also likely to have some sort of impact during this transit. If in your natal chart, Sun makes a connection with any grahas by aspect or conjunction, and if you're going through its Mahadasha, then you're also likely to be impacted by this transit. Now, for your awareness, once again, I use the sidereal zodiac, which is the ancient Vedic astrology system, which focuses on the actual placements of the planets in the sky. So there is a difference between Western tropical system and the sidereal system. Now let's try and understand how this transit is going to have an impact on different ascendant signs or the moon signs. And for your benefit, as always, I'm going to put up a chart to make this explanation quite simple for you. So let's start with Aries ascendant. For Aries ascendant, Sun becomes the ruler of the 5th house. It is a Yoga Karaka planet for Aries ascendant, and it is making a transit in the 3rd house. The 5th lord making a transit in the 3rd house. From here, Sun is aspecting your 9th house. What does Sun desire? Sun desires higher learning during this time. Sun desires focus on dharma. Sun also desires fortune. So there is a high probability that during this month, fortune could be in favor of Aries ascendants if other conditions are favorable in the current time period. So Sun demands you to put a lot of efforts for your future, for the betterment of your future, because that's what the 5th house energies are all about. You will also put in efforts to seek mental peace, and this is where a mentor or a guru can play a role. Someone that you trust, that you can listen to and take directions and guidance. That is going to be quite important for you. Otherwise, this can also lead to a kind of confusion, because Rahu continues to transit in your ascendant. So in order to remove this doubt or confusion, you really need someone who can guide you and protect you during this time. Sun also favors some sort of gains through effort, because this time period indicates resourcefulness that could be supportive for you at your workplace or anything that you're doing in the current time period. During this month, your 2nd house, 4th house and 10th house are going to experience positive results, which means it is a clear call for action at work and at your home as well. So you really need to balance these energies in order to ensure that there is peace and calmness in your life. And if you do that, if you practice mindfulness, if you practice yoga, you will be able to stay calm. Overall, I would say that this is a mixed transit, but it is an important one, because Sun is gradually going to move to your 5th house itself. So be prepared for the exciting times ahead. I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Taurus ascendants. For Taurus ascendants, Sun becomes the ruler of the 4th house and it is making a transit in your 2nd house. The ruler of the house where we see satisfaction, comfort, you're most comfortable in safe space, your mother, and is making a transit in the 2nd house of family, your speech, wealth, money and income, possessions, and from here Sun is going to aspect the 8th house. What does Sun desire during this time? Sun desires transformation. Sun also desires that you cope up with certain ups and downs, sudden changes that could be there for you to get some sort of mental peace. Now the key message of Sun's transit is that happiness is in the family. This is where you feel protected. This is where is the comfort space. So it calls for a lot of time and attention to be given in the house, in the family. If you do that, you would be supported by resources that you need to start a work, resources that you need to do your job better, resources that you need to support yourself and your family. Now this time period can also be quite favorable for any sort of purchase of land, real estate, or also a vehicle. If in case you have a plan or your ongoing dasha is supportive, but on a mental level, it needs that kind of balance which can then reflect in your actions. Now during this time, your 1st house, your 3rd house and your 9th house are likely to deliver positive results. Change is inevitable. Travel, if it is on the cards, it is going to be favorable for you. So make sure you plan your journeys, you plan your travel ahead of the time and make the most of it, because this is going to help you achieve some sort of mental peace and give you that happiness. Now overall, I would say it is a mixed transit and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Gemini ascendants. For Gemini, Sun becomes the ruler of the 3rd house and it is making a transit in the ascendant, in the 1st house itself. Sun is the Karaka, it is the significator of the ascendant. So I have no doubt in saying that this transit is favorable. Sun shares a friendly relationship with the Lagna lord Mercury. Over the next few days, Mercury is also going to be transiting in your 1st house. From the 1st house, Sun aspects the 7th house. What does Sun desire? Sun desires harmony, commitment in relationship, either with your spouse or with your partner, or a lot of focus in building resources for your business. Support from people who are opposite to you. You are likely to have some sort of command over people who are opposite to you. Sun rules the 3rd house for Gemini ascendants, which is all about efforts, communication, change, learning. It is transiting in your ascendant, so it demands you to put certain efforts and make it a way of life. If you put efforts consciously, you do 2 things, your result would multiply and you will get more than you would expect. Sun also influences you to expand and elevate your aura, particularly your communication. Likely to have a command over your speech, over your communication towards others. So make sure you leverage this time, come out of your shell, go out in the open, talk to people, influence people. One thing that I always recommend is whenever Sun is making a transit over your ascendant sign, you should worship Lord Shiva or you should chant Aaditya Hridayam. This could be quite beneficial for all the ascendants in fact. Any work related to your hands can also be a potentially good remedy for you. For example, writing or painting or using your hands for anything, be it exercising in the gym. That could be beneficial for you as well as a good remedy during this time period. In this transit, your 12th house, 2nd house and 8th house are going to experience positive results, which means that there is certain connection between wealth, income and foreigners, which you're likely to be benefited, and you might also plan for an overseas travel. So this is something which could be favorable. There is a sense of adaptability when it comes to working with people from different cultures. So that is something which will be of your area of interest during this time. Overall, a good transit. I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Cancer ascendants. For Cancer ascendants, Sun becomes the ruler of the 2nd house and it is making a transit in the 12th house. From here, Sun is aspecting the 6th house. What does Sun desire? Sun really desires you to fix your routine. If you want resources to support you, you got to work in fixing your routine and also putting focus on your daily job and also your daily chores. Sun is your 2nd house ruler, the ruler of your family, your speech, wealth, income, possessions, is going into the 12th house of giving, which means that you have to mend certain ties. Quite naturally, you would be inclined towards protecting the things that you love, protecting the people who are close to you. You might want to mend some of these ties that you've been thinking of doing since a long time. Particularly within your family, strengthen this bond. Avoid any kind of over possessiveness when it comes to people who are near and dear to you. Give them space. This is also an excellent time to focus your time, attention, and energy in terms of helping those who need it the most during this time. That is the ultimate remedy for you. When Sun transits the 12th house or is in the 12th house, it is the Maran Karaka placement for Sun. This time period desires support from father or a father figure. So this person may really go out of the way to help and support you. You also need some self-reflection time to build your awareness, to build your deep consciousness, and solitude is something which would really work. So spend time with your own self in terms of thinking, reflecting, and a lot of introspection that is needed at this time. In this transit, your 11th house, your 7th house, and the 1st house are going to witness positive results, which means there could possibly be gains from business or through your spouse relationship, and this could be the area of focus. Overall, I would say it is a mixed transit, but I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Leo ascendants. For Leo ascendants, Sun becomes the ruler of your 1st house. It is your Lagnesha, your ascendant lord, and it is making a transit in the 11th house. From the 11th house, Sun is aspecting the 5th house, the house of your future, children, your creativity. That is what Sun demands. Future to be secure, to be safe, to be full of resources and abundance. This is a great time for Leo ascendants to put a lot of focus on their own self, pamper yourself, appreciate yourself. Don't wait for others to recognize you. Give yourself a pat on the back in terms of whatever you've been doing. Self-appreciation, self-care will boost your self-confidence in a great manner. You would also get opportunities to face competition and pass that phase with flying colors successfully, which will further boost your morale, because if you taste success, don't get complacent. Continue the efforts, raise the bar. One thing that Leo ascendants need to be mindful of during this time is any kind of overintelligence or any kind of extravagance when it comes to both in terms of spending, showing and reflecting as well in the society. In this transit, your 10th house, 6th house and 12th house are likely to experience positive results. A great opportunity for new work, new job, and building foreign connections at your workplace and getting some favors from them. Overall, it is a positive transit for Leo ascendants, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Virgo ascendants. For Virgo ascendants, Sun becomes the ruler of the 12th house and it is making a transit in the 10th house. Sun gains directional strength in the 10th house. It gets Digbali, which means there is blessings of the Devtas. From the 10th house, Sun is aspecting the 4th house. What does Sun desire? Sun desires you to shift away, to make a movement. Why? To make yourself feel more comfortable at a space in a time where you can make the most of the situation. Since it's your 12th lord transiting in your 10th house, this could bring some sort of an initial struggle or challenge at the workplace or in the kind of job that you're doing. So you might experience some uncertainty or certain times, but you need to stay resilient. You need to maintain plenty of patience and wait for a few days, wait for some time in order to make a big decision for yourself. One thing that can help you is to build relationship and trusted relationship at your workplace with the people that you can count on. I also feel that a number of Virgo ascendant people might go for some sort of work consultation or support or advice, which could be beneficial for you. This will also help you in a great way to to remove any kind of self-doubt, because when you listen from the other person, it gives you a great mental boost which further reflects in your action. During this transit, your 9th house, 5th house and 11th house are going to experience positive results. There is higher learning. You will learn from your experience. Through this learning, you will influence others and build a network. Overall, it is a positive transit, but after some initial struggle. I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Libra ascendants. For Libra ascendants, Sun becomes the ruler of the 11th house and it is making a transit in your 9th house. The ruler of the house of gains, your social network, friends, is making a transit in the house of Dharma, long distance journey, father. This is where your guru sits. Sun is also one of the significators of the 9th house. It is a positive placement for Sun. From here, Sun is aspecting the 3rd house. What does Sun desires? Sun desires you to take blessings of your guru or your mentor and the key message and the guidance. Sun desires you to learn, to cope up with change. During this transit, I feel that Libra ascendants will leverage their knowledge to teach others, to share what they know, the wisdom and knowledge that you have gained with the other people, which could help you in exploring your true potential. Make sure to give and share message of kindness and all the knowledge that you have with others in a very selfless manner. You are likely to influence other people in some way or the other. This is going to be the path of righteousness, the path of dharma, where fortune is also favorable. So this can give you some very good decision making capabilities for the next 1 month or so. So during this transit, some Libra ascendants might create a liberal thinking, which could be good for you. Your 8th house, 4th house and 10th house are going to experience positive results. What does this mean? There is transformation for a greater good, which will have a very good impact in terms of your action in the society, your workplace and the kind of messages you deliver to people. Overall, it is a good transit for Libra ascendants and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Scorpio ascendants. For Scorpio ascendants, Sun becomes the ruler of the 10th house, an important planet, and it is making a transit in the 8th house. Ruler of your karma, your work, profession, job is making a transit in the house of transformation, in the house of longevity, in the house of sudden change. From here, Sun is going to aspect the 2nd house, the house of your family, wealth, income, possessions. So this is what Sun desires, to focus your karma, your action in terms of your family, in terms of what you're going to earn and how you're going to earn. Sun demands you to develop forward-looking thinking during this time, but this could start with some sort of uncertainty, some sort of doubt. This is what you need to remove from your mind. This is what you need to counter, because you might find that the resources are not in favor of you. You're likely to experience forced changes. Now it depends on your adaptability. If you are receptive towards the change, if you acknowledge, accept this change, you will be more comfortable if you are prepared for it. Yoga and meditation during the morning hours could be highly beneficial for you during this time, which will help you to put your mind at good action. So if you are able to successfully undergo deep transformation, you will gain towards the end. During this transit, your 8th house, 3rd house and 9th house are going to experience positive results. Transformation and higher learning will go hand in hand. You will learn, you will transform, you will learn again, you will further transform. Any kind of travel could be quite beneficial during this time. Overall, I would say it is a mixed transit, but I wish you the very best. Now, let's talk about Sagittarius ascendants. For Sagittarius, Sun becomes the ruler of the 9th house and it is making a transit in the 7th house. This is a nice yoga in transit. The ruler of your dharma, fortune, father, higher learning, long distance travel is making a transit in your house of partnership, your marriage, relationship, the people who are opposite to you, which means that long distance travel in this time can bring favors from those who are opposite to you. Business can bring favor from those who are opposite to you. From here, Sun is aspecting your ascendant, your 1st house, a lot of focus on your own self in terms of changing yourself. Understand your key strengths, pen them down and focus on building those strengths. Forget the weak areas, forget where you need to develop, but continue to focus on your key strengths. Self-care is the call of the hour. The message of Sun for you is that there needs to be dharma in partnership, in relationship, in marriage, righteousness, what is right, and be consistent at it. There will also be some sort of authority of the partner, either your spouse or it could be your business partner as well, someone who's close to you. But then make sure that you listen to that person. Avoid jumping to any conclusion. Listen, clarify. There could be a higher possibility that what this person is saying is right during this time. So be an active listener. As I mentioned, the travel could be beneficial during this time. Those who are looking to settle abroad or pursuing some sort of paperwork, this time could be favorable for you if the other conditions in your chart and your dasha is supportive during this time. Your 6th house, 2nd house and 8th house are going to witness positive results. So a lot of focus on daily routine of yourself and your family, and you will have to change yourself, adapt yourself accordingly for the care and benefit of other people who are close to you, and this will be beneficial for you. Overall, it is a good transit and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Capricorn ascendants. For Capricorn ascendants, Sun becomes the ruler of the 8th house. It is making a transit in the 6th house. The 8th house is all about transformation, occult sciences, hidden knowledge, deep secrets, longevity. It's a mysterious house, and it's making a transit in the 6th house of daily routine, job, competition, diseases, and focus on health as well. So this is causing a Viparita yoga. I always mention when there is Viparita yoga, there is rise, but there is rise after fall. From here, Sun is aspecting the 12th house. So there is a very strong desire in building your self-consciousness, the desire to also give, help those who need you the most at this time. This is a good remedy for minimizing any ill effects during this transit. There is likely victory over enemies, over competition, but after a significant amount of struggle. So it depends on you, the kind of resilience that you're able to maintain. Have plenty of perseverance. Wait for some time. You will eventually rise. One important piece of advice is to stay grounded, connected to your roots, and don't let your ego overpower your thoughts. Meditation is the key, which will really help you to channelize your thoughts in a positive direction. There is also likely to be change of job, change of work, which might not be very comfortable during the first few days, but with time it can get better. Avoid any kind of conflict with other people, especially if you work with foreigners. This is where you need to avoid any conflicting arguments. Your 5th house, 1st house and 7th house are going to witness positive results. So a lot of focus on children, yourself, your spouse, partner. So balance is the key. This is where you need to channelize and ensure that you remain balanced between your duties. Overall, it is a mixed transit for you, and I wish you the very best. Let's talk about Aquarius ascendants. For Aquarius, Sun becomes the ruler of the 7th house and is making a transit in the 5th house. It is again causing a yoga in transit. The ruler of the house of your marriage, partnership, business, people who are opposite to you, is making a transit in the house of future, which is the 5th house, the house of children. This is also where we see speculation from. 5th house also denotes love interest. This message is very clear that there needs to be some sort of love interest that needs to elevate in your relationship, or whether it's existing or new, you need to really elevate yourself. From here, Sun is going to aspect the 11th house. So there is a desire to influence people, desire to build your network. Through that, you can gain. So have a lot of focus in terms of influencing others through your command, through your aura. Praise those who are close to you. Be mentally supportive towards either your spouse, partner, or those who are close to you, because they might need you at this time. So you need to give them the right advice, because you are likely to command some sort of authority. So leverage that in a positive manner. With this, the word of caution is to avoid overconfidence, because with authority comes ego, and that leads to overconfidence. Stay grounded. Humility is the key during this time. Your 4th house, 12th house and 6th house are going to experience positive results. So you will seek happiness, happiness in foreign lands, happiness in daily routine. Take a break, go for a vacation or a travel. This could be highly beneficial for you and ease off some mental stress. Overall, it is a positive transit and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Pisces ascendants. For Pisces, Sun becomes the ruler of the 6th house and it is making a transit in the 4th house. Interesting, because Sun rules the house of competition, daily routine, debts, diseases, health, focus on your job, and it is making a transit in the 4th house of happiness, your comfortable space, mother. From here, Sun is going to aspect the 10th house, which is very good because there is focus on new opportunities. There is focus on a change in terms of workplace that could be positive for you in the long run. So there is that initiation of new opportunities with plenty of resources as well. But then this comes with a caveat that you are likely to have weak decision making capabilities during this time. You might be under a situation of confusion or a sense of doubt wherein you are not sure whether this step is going to be beneficial for you or not. The only way you will get to know it when you try it. So go for it. If you were to seek advice of others, help of others, reach out. Make yourself comfortable, because this will help you in terms of building your self-confidence, which will help you in your decision-making process. Enjoy your daily routine. Have fun in whatever you're doing. Try and find joy from every little things that you're doing and be grateful of it during this time. It is going to give you a lot of mental peace, which is important for you during this time. During this time, your 3rd house, 11th house and 5th house are going to experience positive results. Change is inevitable. With change, there will be gains. Why? For a better future, for a more secured future, so that you can get positional success, you can rise. Overall, I would say it is a positive transit if you take care of some of these things. I wish you the very best. So this was about Sun's transit in sign of Gemini for all ascendants. I hope you liked this video. In case you're new to my channel, please subscribe, share it with your friends and keep yourself updated with all the upcoming transit videos that are coming your way. I hope that Sun during this transit fills our life with a lot of learning, growth and new opportunities. Thank you very much. God bless us all.